Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Welcome, everybody. This is Joey C., and this is Joey C. Through the Wire. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. This is our very first episode of season 1 of a 20-week season of Behind the Wire. I have a very special guest. I have Mr. Jeff Nicholes. Jeff, welcome to the show, and I'm really grateful that you were able to take the time. I know that's been just home a couple weeks, and I know it's been busy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man. Thank you for having me.
You're quite welcome. Thank you for coming. So Jeff, I'm going to start out real simple. Tell us who Jeff Nicholes is. Give us a little history about Jeff Nicholes.
Oh man, well, I've been getting in trouble my whole life, man. I had it kind of rough growing up. You know, bunch of stepdads. My dad was never around, and I got in a lot of trouble as a kid, man. And it just kept progressing until I went to prison the first time. I think when I was 14. I got out. I wasn't out very long. I went again when I was 17, and I came home. Didn't make it 6 months, something like that, and got indicted by the feds. I was felon in possession of a firearm and was sentenced to 15 years.
15 years they gave you for possession of a firearm because you were already a convicted felon. Is that why the charges were 15 years?
Yes.
Jeff, you and I met when I was in the halfway house. You were just coming in, and I was kind of leaving. I mean, I only knew you a couple days, and can we start with? So how many times have you been to prison in your life? 3 times? Is that accurate?
3 times. Yep, 3 times.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you. Let's start with your federal charges. What took place from the investigation to the indictment? Can you tell us about that?
Okay, so I had a couple guns at the house. I wasn't living right, so I had guns to, let's just say, to protect myself. And I had got one for my girlfriend. So if I wasn't around, she would have something to be able to defend herself with. And she was playing with it one night, and I took it from her and set it on the counter. And when I set it on the counter, it went off and hit my roommate. And, it was a serious incident. We had to call 911. He had to go to the hospital. And the firearm that he was hit with was a sawed-off 410. And any sawed-off weapon with a barrel under 14 inches is a federally regulated firearm. It's actually a violation of tax code. So that's what originally got me indicted.
That's the original indictment. Okay, now, because it was the type of weapon it was, is that what made it federal? Is that what took it to a federal level from a state charge?
Well, for it being a sawed-off, yes. If a weapon has a barrel of under 14 inches or an overall length of under 35 inches, it's federally regulated, and you have to apply through a permit through ATF. And if they grant that permit, then you have to pay a tax on it. Okay. Now, I have 2 other charges that were added to my indictment because I found 2 guns in the safe in the trunk of my car. And most weapons are manufactured outside the state of Florida. So when a weapon crosses state lines, it travels in interstate commerce, and that's what gives them federal jurisdiction. And it's not just a gun that will satisfy that statute. Like if you get caught with a bullet, one bullet that was made out of state, they can indict you for felon in possession of a firearm.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
Now you're indicted. Do they come and get you, or do they serve you to turn yourself in? How did that all come about for you?
So I actually was walking out to take the trash out, and there were 2 state police that were doing a courtesy pickup for ATF, and they pulled up in my driveway in a blacked out vehicle without their lights on, and as soon as I stepped outside, they grabbed me. Didn't even know they were there.
Where were you taken?
I was taken to a local jail, and I spent the night there. And the next morning, I was taken to the federal courthouse in Tampa.
So that's where did you go to trial, or did you plead guilty to the charges and accepted an offer that they were going to give you?
Yeah, I was refused a plea agreement, so I wasn't cut any type of deal. So I just pled open to the court.
Okay, and that was in Tampa, Florida, at the federal court, because I was
Yep.
my case was in Ocala because I had lived in Citrus County at the time of
Okay.
our mine was in Ocala.
Yeah.
So you said you went the next day. Was that was for your initial arraignment? Did you get out on bond or did they hold you? Did you have any
Oh
bond?
no, they didn't. No, they would. I was refused a bond. I was not offered one. With the feds, they normally don't do cash bonds. They do search-and-rescue bonds. They want vehicles, properties, businesses,
Right.
things like that. And the girl I was with at the time, her mother was willing to put up their property for my bond, and they denied it. Said I was a flight risk.
Wow. Now,
Yeah.
Jeff, how long did it take from when you went for the arraignment before you got completely convicted and you knew what you were going to get in prison time?
About 6 months. That's about the average with the feds from beginning to end. They're pretty quick about it. Unless you go to trial, 6 months is about what you can expect.
And this was probably during the pandemic too, wasn't it? Or was it before the
No,
pandemic?
actually, this was prior to the pandemic. I was indicted in 2009, and I
Okay,
was
2009.
I was sentenced in 2009 as well.
All right. So now you take the charge. You said they gave you 15 years is what your sentence was. So you had to do what, 13,
Yes,
about 13 years?
with good time, yeah. But I've been in a little trouble, and I got in trouble at the halfway house, so I ended up doing about 14 years, 2 months on my 15-year sentence.
Walk me through the day of conviction and walk me through the day they picked you up to take you to start your prison sentence. Where did you go? I want to cover all your experiences in prison. I want people to know what prison's like. I mean, I was in a camp, so I really can't say I was in prison. You went to prison. I know some of the places you went to. We've talked
Yeah, I
before,
was in a
and you went to
penitentiary.
some
Yeah, I
hardcore
was in the
places.
Maxes. Yeah, I was in two of the worst federal penitentiaries there was, Pollock, Louisiana, and Big Sandy, Kentucky. So after I was sentenced, um, I went back to the county jail, which was in Pinellas County at the time. I was transferred to Citrus, and from Citrus County, I got on the bus that morning. We went to the Tampa courthouse. We picked some people up, and we went to the airport in Tampa. Not the big international one that everyone flies out of. There's a smaller one where like the
Right.
Lear jets and things like that, where people own private aircraft where they store their planes. The plane that we fly on, we call it Con Air. There's two or three planes I think they use. We call them all Con Air. I actually didn't get on the plane. I got on another bus and was bused to Sumter County, which isn't too far from us, and taken to USP1, Coleman Penitentiary.
That's where I was at Coleman
Yeah,
Camp.
the Coleman complex is the biggest federal prison complex. There's 5 prisons there. There's 2 penitentiaries. There's a medium, a low, and a camp. So like I'm from White America, man. I'm on this bus and I look back and I see this Mexican, and his whole head and face is tattooed, and he's got this big giant mustache, and I've never seen nothing like that before. I've only seen shit like that in movies. So I'm looking at this dude, man. He's like, yo, what's up, Holmes? I know you were something. And I just looked at the dude and I told him, I was like, man, I've never seen nothing like you before in my life, man. You look like something out of a lowrider magazine. And right then and there, man, he knew I was green as grass, and he just laughed and he asked me what my name was. And I introduced myself, and he told me he was Spider and he was Nostra Familia. And like I didn't even know what the hell that was, man. It's just
Cartel, I believe.
yeah, West Coast Cali gangbangers with ties to the cartel.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Now, did you go to Atlanta? That's also one of the worst penitentiaries.
When I was transferred from Coleman to Louisiana, I did go through Atlanta, and that place was horrible at the time. Roaches, bad. Roaches, bad, man. There's so many roaches there. It was infested. It was horrible.
Wow.
I forget how many people were out there on the wing. They were letting the whole wing out. There's 100-something people. There was only like 3 phones to use, so there was a lot of bullshit behind the phones. The showers are disgusting. Yeah, man, that was probably one of the worst places that I've done, and thank God I was just passing through there.
Yeah, man. When I heard your story and a little bit I talked with you about, man, and I'm like, I got to get Jeff on here because this is a guy that he experienced the federal penitentiary at the highest level. Now, you get to prison, you get processed. We all know it's a process. You got to go through the process.
Yeah.
You got to go with the asshole, the federal officers. you're just a mule when it comes to the federal system. You're a chain
Yeah.
gang with that they want to pay you 23 cents an hour to go build desks or whatever they want you to do. So you get there, you get settled in. Uh, Obviously, penitentiary. You were in a cell with bars, correct? If you were in one of the older ones.
We didn't have bars. We just a concrete cell with a steel door. There's a chuck hole cut in it, just a little flap. And like during lockdowns when we're secured in our cells, they just pop the flap, man, and everything you need to survive comes through that hole in that door.
Okay, that's right. Now tell me, what's an average morning waking up? What's the process? Tell me about how many fights you incurred. I heard it's mandatory in the penitentiary. Everybody right off the bat, they make a shank. That's just to protect yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. So the system when I came in is a little different than it is now. I mean, the penitentiaries are still extremely violent, but back then they were worse. So first thing you got to understand about the penitentiaries is they're segregated, very segregated by race. Everyone's got their own cells. They've got their own TVs, their tables. We've got tables in a chow hall, territory on the rec yards. White, black, Mexican, Native. So like when you walk in, it's not like a lot of your state systems. When you walk into a state prison, people are going to try you. They're going to see what you're about. When you walk into a federal penitentiary, like your people are going to embrace you. Like the white dudes come up to me like, hey man, where you from? Where you coming from? Where you been? What do you need? They'll give you a care package, everything, and they'll start, breaking everything down. And one of the first questions they ask you is your paperwork. Because, and the penitentiary, it's all about the paperwork, man. They want to know who you are, what you've done. They want to make sure you're not a rat. So you've got a certain amount of time to produce your sentencing paperwork. And if you do not produce that paperwork, like something bad's going to happen to you.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen, what time it is. It's the same thing that happened to me. Like I said, I was very fortunate. That was my first time going to prison. I did a very small sentence, but I was put to the camp at Coleman. But I tell you, that's the first thing. They thought I was Puerto Rican. And I swear about 50 Puerto Ricans came to the door with care packages. I mean, I had everything I needed in the first 5 minutes. But the second thing they asked me for was those papers. And I said, here's my name, man. Call your people and tell them to run me. And they came back and they all just embraced me. And they said, because they know the codes. They know all the codes that are in the paperwork to tell if you're a snitch.
Yeah.
You can't get away with it. And people we caught so many guys lying.
Yeah, they want to know if you're a snitch. They want to know if you're a sex offender, a pedophile, anything like that. Like it's over with for you.
Jeff, how bad are the chomos in penitentiary?
They're non-existent because when we catch them, we kill them. Like you have people that literally just sit and wait for one to show up to kill them. Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah. They do. A lot of times if someone with a sex case shows up in a penitentiary, they will not let them out onto the yard. They will keep them in protective custody because they will be accountable for that. Like they know what this person's charges. They know the environment that this person is going to walk into. So they harbor them. Like I've heard at a lot of the lower security prisons, like there's paperwork that you have to sign saying that if you assault a sexual predator, that you can be charged with a hate crime.
Hate crime, I heard. Yes, that's what I heard. 10 years or something, isn't it?
Right? Yeah, that's crazy. That it's crazy that they protect those people like that. Yeah,
that's insane, man. When I heard that in the camp, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
He said it's a hate.
A hate crime. You get a hate crime for beating up a child molester.
That's insane. That's just
it's disgusting.
What's the difference? Because I know you did 2 bits in the state and you did 1 in federal. For a guy like you, who's been through the system, you've been through hell and back. You know all the ins and outs of the streets. You know all the ins and outs of the penitentiary. What did you feel was better? Was state better or was federal better? If there's any comfort in any prison.
There's really not. Like in state prisons, you don't have the politics. It's every man for himself. They'll tell you to be a man or get you one. So like that being said, you don't have to deal with all the bullshit because it's not all the racial segregation and all the division in the state. But on the other side of that coin, in the state, like someone's going to heart check you. They're gonna, initiate a physical altercation. They're going to try to fight you. And if you don't fight and you don't stand up for yourself, then they're going to steal from you. They're going to rob you. They're going to give you a list and say, hey, man, you just get this for me every week and you won't going to have no problems.
They're going to make you your bitch. They're going to make you a bitch.
Pretty much. Yeah. You're going to be a June. You're going to be a fuck boy, whatever you want to call it. Now, in the feds, because we have all the segregation, like when you get there, like the community, like my community, the white community would embrace me, and they're going to bring you a care package. Hey man, you need this, you need that, whatever, we stick together, we roll together. You don't have the heart check, but you have all the bullshit. You've got all the politics, we don't do this, we can't do that. And what this person does over here can get you drug into it, and a lot of the yards are broke down by what state you're from. Like they'll ask you, who do you ride with? Well, I'm from Florida, so I ride with Florida. That's your car. That's who you roll with. So I'm in the Florida car. And it's just, there's a hierarchy. You got a shot caller, you have enforcers, and, the feds is cool because it's air conditioning, the jobs pay, it's a 2-man cell. The cops, they don't mess with you as much, but you don't have that independent freedom where you can just do what you want, like you're required to do certain things. Everybody's got to produce their paperwork. Everybody's got to put in work. When someone comes and asks you something, and it's not necessarily a request. You know what I'm saying? They're just asking you in a question form to be respectful or polite. Like, people can tell you to do things, and you have rules you have to follow, not just the prison rules, but the penitentiary rule, like the convict rules, Right. So it can be, both have their good and their, well, none of it's really good, but there's both sides have its pros and cons.
Yeah. I heard a lot of good things about you. I heard you could scrap pretty good. When you need to get the scrap and you're a scrapper. I heard that for a few people that know you. Tell me a little bit about your average day of somebody coming up to you and trying to punk you or trying to just take control of your situation.
I don't really do the arguing. I don't, a lot of people like to get loud and cause a scene and draw attention. I just take off on you. I'm not going to come up to you and say, hey, I have, like I'm trying to see you. Let's go to the cell. I'm not going to walk up to you and call you a bitch. I'm just going to walk up to you and hit you. Right. You don't really see a whole lot of that in our community. So in the time that I did, I was probably in maybe 3, like, one-on-one fights. All the other physical altercations I involved in would be me and somebody else or multiple people, assaulting somebody because, they broke the rules or they're a rat or they're a child molester.
How many people did you see killed in federal penitentiary in your 14-year bit?
Witnessed with my own eyes, I probably saw 5 people murdered. Like actually watched them die, stabbed to death, beat to death,
Yeah. When I was in the camp, we saw at least 10 ambulances. Well, Coleman's, like you said, the biggest complex in the federal system. We saw at least 10 to 12 ambulances a day coming in because we were right up at the front. The camp was there. The good thing about the camp is we weren't locked in. Our doors were never to be locked because we were considered out custody. So we had freedom to walk outside. Of course, after 11 o'clock, you don't get caught out there. But like you said, the guards, the 2-man guards every night, and they were cool. They would come up to us and say, listen, I'm going to get ridden up by the lieutenant. I need some contraband. You need to help me out here. You guys put some love on that table and we'll leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? And that's the kind of understanding we had with them. But I saw at least 10 to 12 ambulances coming in and was with a stab victim every single time, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So like once you get your paperwork checked out, man, like not everybody carries a knife. It's not mandatory. Well, some places it is mandatory. Like they make you carry one, but other places it's optional. And my view on it is it's better to have it not needed than need it not have it. So I always carried a weapon. Always. I always had one because you just never know.
Yeah, I agree. I tell people you get drugs so easy. You get anything in prison. Faster and better than the outside. But it costs a lot of money.
Yes, it does.
Talk about a little bit about that. Tell me the daily hustle from guys. I know you can get anything in the federal prison. So
Oh man, like it's a whole, we're behind the wall. It's like its own small world in there. You've got, people have stores, people have poker tables, blackjack tables, they've got dice tables. Some people fix and maintain electronics, some people sew. You got your dope boys. Like me, I made liquor. That's what I did. I made shine.
I did lighters, $30 a pop.
Nice. Yes.
Cigarettes, $50 a pack. That's what somebody told me. Lighters are easy to get in here, so I got them. I got the market on the lighters, $30 a piece for a little.
The last pack of cigarettes that I bought myself, I paid $150 a piece for, and I paid $150 because I bought 10 of them at a time. I bought a carton of them. Like a lot of places, in the pens, like about average, let's say a pack of cigarettes. It's not even a pack. You know what I mean? If you're not even getting a full pack, it's probably going to run you about $200.
Yeah, I know that a gram of cocaine was $250 over at the camp. They shook us down when $250 for a gram of coke, $150 for a gram of meth. I think
wow,
a dime bag of marijuana was like $75.
When I just left, a gram of speed was $500.
Wow,
$500 for a gram. Yep.
That's insane.
A cell phone just went for $10,000.
I heard that.
One phone, $10,000.
I was very lucky then, man, because the Puerto Ricans, they really took to me and they really looked out after me. There were only about 6 Italian guys in the whole camp. So like you said, they come down. All the Italian guys came down immediately and gave me stuff. But the Puerto Rican guys, I was with a part of guys that were 101 Latinos from Puerto Rico that were under the same indictment. They all got 10 years apiece. And from the Jefe to all the gunmen to the soldiers, they were all put at Coleman. They all got 10 years. And you could go to a camp if you got 10 years or less. And they're all in the camp, and I became really good friends with these guys, man. They looked out for me. I mean, they fed me. They cooked with the stingers and the bucket of hot water with the stinger in there. And they made their just like they were at home. And one guy was making burritos 3 times a week, making 200 burritos each, like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, selling 2 for $10. They were banking $3,000 a week just selling burritos. Man, I got a family at home, brother. I got to take that money, make sure that Cash App, everything's Cash App.
Me and my celly, we actually we came up with a recipe for apple pies, man, with just like the apples out of the chow hall. We got a little cinnamon from the guys in the warehouse. We used tortillas and duplex cookies, man, and it looked like a burrito, but it was like an apple pie filling. And man, we had $1,000 a day selling apple pies, man.
Awesome, man.
$1,000 a day selling apple pies. It's insane. Like people don't understand the money that's in them prisons, man.
I'm telling you, man. I was blown away just on some of the things I was seeing. But when a guy told me this guy, he was Cuban from Miami, and he only had he got a 5-month sentence for something stupid. And he goes, I'm going to sell the cigarettes, man. He goes, but I'm going to tell you, I've already told them that you got the lighter market, man. So you better put your order in. And then they just gave me that, And I'm like,
yeah,
I was able to help my wife and send money to her every month. You know what I'm saying? Keep myself on the book so I could, you go to the store, you know how it is. People think we got it made in there. We didn't have commissary for 6 weeks. Because of when they came and shook us down, they found it was the first time that the warden actually came over to camp. He was so pissed off. They found a half a pound of meth, half a pound of cocaine in the rafters. They found like 50 cell phones. We were dorm B. We were the only dorm that never got busted with cell phones. Every other buddy, I mean, you know how you go to the shoe. You could call it a cell phone. Bam, you're in a shoe, and you know what the shoe's like. It's fucking hellhole.
That's one of the most dangerous places there is, man.
Oh man,
the special housing unit. Yep, that's a dangerous place.
Yeah, we were fortunate, man. I got so much admiration for you and so much respect for a guy like you. It's just guys like you looked out for guys like me, because if you carry yourself well, and that's what I want to get into with you. What's the 3 main things you do where you won't run into any trouble? What's the 3 rules? There's 3 simple rules. I know you know what they are. Tell everybody what's the 3 simple rules so you can survive in prison.
Man, the first is just respect, man. Treat people how you want to be treated. That's treat people how you want to be treated. That's a big thing. And just you got to be aware of your surroundings. You got to know what's going on around you. You got to know what you're dealing with. But the respect thing is big, man. Just treat people how you want to be treated. Follow the rules. And I'm not talking about like the prison's rules. I'm talking about the convict code, follow that, and pay your bills, man, and you're going to be all right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. If you're gonna get shit, if you want to buy drugs, you want to buy cigarettes, it's a simple thing. Don't go there knocking if you can't pay the price when you say you're gonna pay. Because I've seen guys, man, you go in the bathroom. Let me tell you something. You go in the I was taking a shower one day, man, and they drugged some guy in the bathroom, about 13 of them, man. They beat the fuck out of him over a pack of cigarettes because he didn't pay, he
Yeah.
lied, and then he tried to steal a pack in the middle of the night from them. So yeah,
Wow.
it wasn't cool, man. He got fucked up pretty bad, man.
I would say
Um,
about 90% of the bullshit that goes down is debt related. People getting dope they can't pay for.
yeah, that's
You
that's
know, you
that's also
get on a poker table and betting on ass, thinking they're going to hit or someone's going to help them out, or they can get some money sent and can't.
so. You do your stretch, and this is how we met. You come to the same halfway house, which is here in Tampa, over on 57th, over here, and you get there, you get a job. They're pretty knowledgeable. I think we still had to do all the work ourselves, but they made it easy if you worked with them. I mean, they were pretty cool down there. I got
Yeah.
I got in trouble too, so they shipped me out to Pinellas for my last 28 days. I violated one of the rules, and I'm like, I got 28 days. You're gonna fucking write me up for this shit? And they go, you're going. And then the marshals came, and I'm like, I got 28 fucking days left, man. They go, you're going to Pinellas. Let's go. And I
Yeah.
just, okay, cool. So that the same thing happened to you. You got out. You were in the halfway house. I know you met. I know you started dating a girl. I actually know the person you're with. Nice woman, and you were working, and then all of a sudden tell everybody what happened. And it really wasn't your fault, was it?
All right, so let me start at the beginning. I got to the halfway house, man, and they really didn't give me no help. Like I did everything on my own. I went and took a construction class because I'd spent my whole life in prison. Like I had no skills or nothing to show for it except what I learned in prison, and that type of shit doesn't do you no good out here. Really, except what you learn about interacting with people. So I took the construction class. They told me that I couldn't do construction. Um, I ended up getting a job at the Family Dollar, which is where I met the woman I'm with, Maria, and everything was going good. I was working, things were going good. And one of the girls, also from the center that we were working with, um, told them that we were in a relationship, that I was going back to her apartment. She told them that we were selling drugs. She told them all kinds of wild ass shit. Um, they didn't just tell the halfway. She didn't just tell the halfway house. She called the corporate office for the Family Dollar and told them all kinds of shit. Got Maria investigated, had me under investigation at the halfway house, and it come to a head, man. And they made me quit. They made me quit my job. You know,
Wow.
never found no
I heard about that one.
drugs, nothing, no searches, none of that shit. They made me quit my job.
Yeah, because I think you're just about my wife's whole time in halfway house. You were there most of with her because I was just coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think me and you were there. I was about a week with you, and I was leaving to go to Pinellas. But I know she spent
Yep.
6 months there. Most of this about all the time. You might have left about a month before she came home. I think. So now they pick you up, and once once this is what my take on it, and I think you're going to agree. When you do your bit and you do your time and federal, you have to go to halfway house. I keep telling people it's mandatory. You must go to be re-entered in society. So now you get to this part, you're a little more comfortable. You're wearing your regular clothes. You've got a job. You're on the outside. After doing 13 years for a guy like you, how hard was it to the adjustment for you coming out of prison after 13 years? Was it? Just tell me a little bit about that.
It was, man, it was almost impossible, man. Like you got to think, I'd never been on Facebook. I'd never had a smartphone or nothing. I come home to a whole new world. My first day out in the city, like I had a full meltdown. Like I broke down. Like I couldn't deal with it. Like I was ready to go back. Like just so much had changed. Just the way people talk and act, and like there's no respect, there's no personal boundaries. Like people don't respect your space, the way people talk to each other now, and just the way they, and just like the homelessness is real bad, and these people are everywhere, and I'm on public transportation, and just the craziness with them, man. Like I couldn't deal with it. I was bugging out. Like when I come back to the halfway house, they took one look at me and was like, man, are you all right? And that's when I just lost it, man. I broke all the way down. I couldn't take that shit. It was
Yeah,
too
I
much.
I
It was
understand that
too
very
much.
well. I'm still at my age. I think I'm a little bit older than you. What are you, about late 20s, early 30s?
I'm in my 30s.
Yeah, okay. So I'm almost 60. I'm 58. So that was my very first to go to prison at 57 years old was very hard for me. Not
Wow.
that I couldn't do it.
I
I,
bet.
I accepted it and I did it. And I got there's no problem about doing it because I grew up in Chicago in the streets, so I know how to handle myself. But for me and my age, it just it's been eating my soul since I've been home. It's like I lost everything and I can't get it right. I just feel like I let myself down. And my head is just every day. It's like a radio playing, and I can't shake it. So I know what you mean when you say you break down. I break down every night, man. I want to get my life back to at least somewhat normal. But you were gone for 13 years. The whole world changed, and you came out and you're like. And I tell people a lot of guys get institutionalized. They rather be back behind the wall and the power they had and what they ran and they were somebody in there. People look at me like I'm nuts when I tell them that. And I'm telling the
Yeah,
truth, ain't I? When I say that,
it is. Because when you're gone for so long, I mean, you got to think like you build real strong bonds in there, and you have a reputation. You're somebody in there, and then you come home and you're a nobody. You're just a regular person, and a lot of people can't deal with that,
right?
because they're used to having that big dog status to be able to snap their fingers and say, "Hey, you're going to
Right.
do this," or "Hey, you're going to do that," and that's what people do.
Yeah.
And now you come out here, and it's like you have nothing, you have nobody, you know. And like my thing was like, yeah, I got out physically, but mentally, like I was still in prison. Like
Right.
just I couldn't get my mind out of it. You know, it was really hard to. I had to go back to get out, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
had to go back and re-experience all that and seeing, like what I had to like what it could be for me to shake that.
Yeah.
Like I
I
still have my my problems. Like people still know that I'm a little different. You know,
You're
just the
okay in my
way
book, Jeff. I
I
understand you
try.
better than anybody. You're all right in my book,
I
buddy.
try, but just like the way I react to certain situations and just like my outlook on things, it's I've
I
been
understand that.
just programmed to think and react a certain way, and I'm trying to. I'm working on it. That's all you can do is work on it. So far,
Yes,
things are
that's
good.
it.
I've only been out about 3 weeks now, but this is the best I've ever done.
That's wonderful, man. I know you got a good you got a good woman. I know she's a friend of my wife's and I met her several times and she's a nice lady and I know she's a hard worker and I know she loves you. She talks to my wife all the time about that. So just I'm not supposed to tell you that,
Yeah, I won't
but
tell.
yeah, don't tell nobody. Um, you know, my biggest thing is people don't realize that, everybody here's with me. I did such nothing and I get called scumbag. I get all these named people. Just they I'm no good. I'm a felon. They just think they know
Criminal.
the whole. I'm a criminal.
Yeah,
I'm no good. I
yeah.
stole money. They just want to know the non-fact stuff. They don't care about the other stuff. And I laugh
No,
now, because I don't care. I am a convicted felon, and it is what it is. But I also was retired from work already, so I didn't have to worry about losing a job. I was already I got sick a few years ago, and I had took out I paid 30 something years into Social Security, and I drew out my disability instead of wait to 62 because I had no choice. But I understand it. I got a friend, my best man at my wedding with my wife. He did 6 state bits,
dang.
and he got raided on the 7th bit about 5 years ago, and they found, everything imaginable. But this guy was a guy that helped everybody in the neighborhood, took care of all the seniors, gave money to kids, never did sold any drugs to children. You know the game. He sold the people that were going to go somewhere else. Well, he might as well swap up the money. These were all addicts he was
Yeah,
selling to. They gave a double life sentence 5 years ago for selling drugs. 2 life sentences. But he had cancer. They just operated on him at what's the state one where the medical, what's it called? Lake Butler. They took him
oh,
to Lake
okay,
Butler
yeah, like Butler.
for
Yeah,
medical, and he got the cancer out, and they got him. He's an older guy, he's my age, and they got him at Sumter, which is probably the best prison in the state of Florida for an older guy to go to Sumter. But can you believe it?
yeah.
2 life sentences, man. This was my best man at my wedding, and I can't put a
For
wrap around
drugs.
it because they let murderers out after 20 years, dude. You know that. They let the
Oh,
old days,
I
the
mean,
rapists.
look. You got a child rapist does 7 years and gets out.
Exactly.
To reoffend, but you sell some drugs in the corner and you're going to do life in prison.
It sucks, man. It really does.
It's crazy.
Now you're out. You've been home 3 weeks. You said your life is going in the right direction.
Yeah.
What? At the end of the day, what do you hope now for the rest of your life? What's your dreams? Do you got any dreams? Uh, I want you to share with us what you would like to see Jeff Nicholes to be in 5 years from now. What's your plan for that?
5 years, man. I hope. I mean, I don't hope. I mean, I know I'm still going to be free, but just like not to let my family down, man. I've just been a failure my whole life, a fuck up, and like that really hit hard last time, because like my grandma, that's who I'm staying with now, and she's like, I don't have, you know, a whole lot of years left. You go away again, you might never see me again, and that hit home, and just to call and just hear the hurt and sadness in their voice, like I wasn't even out 5 months and I was already violated in the halfway house and back in after the 13 and a half years I did. I fucked up and had to go do another 8 months, so I just,
Well,
man, 5 years from now, I'd like to see myself in my own place, maybe my own house, a vehicle, maybe some kids, just live a normal
marriage,
life,
maybe
man.
marriage might be in the works. Could it
Hopefully,
be? Ah, that's great,
it
man.
could be. It could
That's
be.
such a wonderful thing. I hope that, and I'm gonna tell you right now, for you doing the show, which was an honor to have you. We're gonna get together. I'm gonna take you and Marie out. We're gonna go for dinner, and this is my appreciation to you for everything you've done for me tonight by
Sounds good,
coming
man.
on. Um, if
No
you were to
problem.
talk to a group of children right now, or a bunch of kids that are 13, 14, 15, that are wild on the street, gangbangers, they're dealing dubs on the fucking corner. They're just carrying automatic pistols, and they're on top of the world. What would your advice be if you had to go to talk to a bunch of kids to try to persuade them? What would you say to them?
Man, I just tell them, man, look around you, man. Because I mean, we move in small circles, and when you're living that type of life, I mean, you're always watching people around you get busted. They're always going down. They're getting shot. They're getting killed. Like there is no retirement for a criminal. You know, Prison is your retirement home or death. Look around you. Look what's going on around you, man. What makes you think you're any different? You're just some young dumb kid. Like yeah, you think you're smarter than the police. Prisons are full of people like you. Open your eyes, man. Look at what's going on around you. Like there is no future in that. There is no career in that. You're going to be dead or you're going to be in prison. And prison is not cool. It's not a badge of honor. It's not something to brag about. It's just, I mean, for real, it's like it's hard to talk to kids, man, because you couldn't talk to me. You couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I knew it
Right.
all. Like I had to learn the hard way, man. It's rare that you can meet a kid that you can talk to and they can learn from your experience.
That's
But
very
that's
true.
that's the problem, man. No one's really talking to these kids.
Yeah.
You know,
It's the whole United States. They don't care. It's just like the United States just gave up on everything. They don't care about nobody.
they don't, and it's
There's
not only that. Just look at pop culture now, man.
yeah,
Actually listen to what they're talking about in music. Look at the shit you see on TV, man.
yeah. You're right.
That's what's wrong with these kids, man.
Yeah, they've taken God out of the
They
schools.
yeah,
You know,
they're taking gods out of the school. They're letting the trannies and shit in the schools. You
yeah,
know, like there's just a lot of weird shit going on out there, man. Like these
yeah,
kids, like it's hard to talk to them, man. You just got to show them the right way. The first thing you got to do is you got to remove that child away from like the people he's around because they're
right.
just going to drag that kid down. No matter, even if he wants to change, like no one wants to be the odd man out. No one wants to be the lame or the loser. So they're going to hang out to be popular and be cool. Like
Right.
you have to get the child
Absolutely.
away from that. And you like a lot of parents, man, they work all day and then they come home and they really don't want to deal with the kids and the bullshit.
You're
But
right.
you have
I,
to. You got to get the kid away from that.
you're right.
You
You
have
know
to.
what I
You got to
think?
move.
You got to move. You're right. I think in my time, families were still at home. You had to be home at 5 o'clock to eat dinner with the whole family at the dinner table. It was mandatory. You didn't just get 5 o'clock. You weren't eating. Number one, and your ass is going to get an ass whooping. And that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Parents that gave you an ass whooping, and I'm not talking about abuse ass whooping. I'm talking a good old fashioned ass whooping from your mother or father with a belt. scrap across or a switch across your ass. I think the era of people had more respect for the world and people than, like you just said, the kids today, they're all over. They tell their parents, "Fuck you. You do what
Yeah,
I
fuck
say."
you. Yeah,
Fuck you. That's what they tell him. I heard a kid talk to his
yeah.
mother in the store. I went up to, I said, "Don't fucking let me ever hear you when I'm in the fucking shop and talk to your mother like that." He said, "Fuck
It's
you."
man, it blows my mind because if you were to see, if you were to take a belt to a child now, like you would go to jail for that. That's child abuse for disciplining your
Exactly.
child. The child could
Exactly.
call the cops on the parent, and the parent goes to jail regardless of what the kid has done to deserve that ass whooping.
Exactly. I'm glad that I got many ass whoopings from my mother because at least she showed me how to be two things: how to show respect and how to become a leader. Because my mother always said to me, "You're not going to be no 6'5" guy with 250 and then bodybuilder. You're going to be a short little tane, so you better start learning about respect and taking respect because if you're not a leader and you're a follower, you're going to be in some trouble." And I took that advice and always tried to be a leader. Um, if you don't mind, I'm gonna let the chat ask some questions. You don't have to answer. If there's anything that you think is offensive, we'll get them out of there. If you don't
Okay,
mind, I think they want to ask you some questions. Uh,
okay,
I've been starting, and I started this. I'm in a podcast with a thing called the Dabbleverse. This is different. This is a show I started. This is something that I've been working on for over a year that I wanted to put together to be very well. In the Dabbleverse, I'm one of the hotheads that everybody comes at, and they attack me or I attack them. It's a bunch of comedians. I'm not a comedian, but I entered into this world of comedians. But this, I asked them. I invited all people that are in the Dabbleverse to come over, and I think they have some questions. So I think we'll start. This is my weakness here is doing the chat room as my moderator, Mister Reverton, and oh my God, I'm drawing a blank for his name, but David Skywalker. There and my consigliere, my brother that does my show with me, Mister DG. I'm sure he'll have a question for you. He's a great guy.
okay.
So first one. So, guys, if you want to ask some questions, it's time to put them in the chat. I'm going to read them. We'll take about 12 questions for Jeff because I know he worked today and he's probably got dinner he wants to eat or something. But he took 42 minutes with us now. So, any questions? Please put them up. Let's see here. When is Bill's show? I don't know what she's talking about. So I'm gonna give them a few minutes to see if they want to pop some questions at. I was gonna
All
have a
right.
call-in number tonight. I got one and I just didn't get it set up in time. I've been working all day. I was nervous. I haven't had butterflies in my stomach a long time. I was actually nervous because I wanted to be back to do a great interview and be on a more serious side of me so people could see that I'm not a bad person and I'm not this crazy raving lunatic like I have to be with the Dabbleverse people. But I'm just so grateful, man, that you took the time and I know you had a busy day. So I'm asking again, chat, is there any questions you want to ask Mr. Jeff here before we wrap this up? Okay, here we go. It says, did you do 13 years straight? That's the question.
13 years, 5 months, and 19 days straight.
Straight. There you go.
Then I went to the halfway house for like 5 months, and then I had to go back and do another 8 months.
That's right. I remember that's when I met you, and then you had to go off. Okay, let's see what this says. Let's see. Let me see. Hey, Joey, you could have a million streams but different names. The common denominator. Okay, that's something for me. Okay. This lady, I get all kind of crazy stuff, buddy. You just don't
She's a
know.
crazy type.
It's
No, actually, she's not. You've
oh,
heard
okay.
things,
This is for you.
okay?
Yeah,
Oh no, no, no. She's a good chick.
she is a
She
good woman.
she keeps me in line. She got me on a tight leash.
I say the same thing. A man's as good as the woman that he keeps on his arm. If you got a good
Yeah,
woman that supports you and everything, but keeps you in that place you need to be, you're gonna be all right, man.
yeah,
I finally got blessed with that after a couple failed marriages and
yeah.
so I'm
No,
really
I
happy for you
mean,
guys.
I've stumbled a couple times since I've been out. Nothing major, but she's been right there to support me
That's
and keep me on the right path.
that's great, man. I love to hear stuff like that. Let's see if we got any more questions for you. Okay, Jeff. No, let's see. Let's see here. No, no
Yes,
parole.
yes. With the feds, that's mandatory. So you either get 3 or 5 years, and I'm on parole for 3 years.
Yeah, I was
Now,
lucky.
if I behave and I stay out of trouble, I can push to have it cut early within A year.
About halfway through.
Yeah, about halfway
Yeah.
through. Yeah. Well, they just
Now,
recently changed it. You can file a motion to get it cut after a year, but your probation officer, your parole officer's got to be on board with it.
yeah. You know, what really happened to me is my original sentence was 5 years probation, no prison, and my wife got 30 months, and I was going nuts without her. And I called my attorney up. I go, "What's the worst I can get if I violate?" He says, "Why would you ask me a question like that?" Because I'm not doing 5 years for the charge I did. They kiss my ass. It's driving me
Yeah.
crazy. I had an ankle monitor. I had to call in. I couldn't go. I couldn't go to the grocery store without getting permission. And that, for me, a guy
Yeah.
like me, that wasn't working.
Yeah.
So he said, honestly, he goes, "You got no criminal history. He goes, you got 5 years paper." He told me only 4% of the judge told me 4% of people walk out of here with straight probation. 96% of people go to prison. He goes, "But you got nothing in your history," he said. So, and he goes, "The charge is really," he goes, "the only reason you're here is because not because of the charge." The next day, I got aggressive with one of the agents, and I wanted to fight him. They tackled me to the ground in front of my house. I was swinging. I was ready to beat his head in because he was just railroading my wife, and I didn't like it. And I just lost it. And he goes, "You're going to calm down." And sat me down for about an hour in handcuffs. And then when they drove away, they called me an asshole. And they said, "Now you're in the indictment." So they originally were not going to indict me because I told a tiny little lie to them. But then because I got aggressive, I put myself there. But after
Yeah.
the judge gave me 5 years paper, my attorney goes, "You get about maybe 9 months tops." I already had, because I violated my pre-sentence, so I already had 90 days in on the books. So I'm like, that's 6 months. And if I go to the county with the pandemic, I'm going to sit another 3 months in the county. I wound up doing 88 days in
Oh
prison.
man,
That's
dude,
all I did,
the
88 days.
pandemic was a nightmare, man.
Oh,
The
man. You
pandemic
ain't
was a
lying.
nightmare.
You ain't lying. Let's see if we got
Yeah,
any more
dude.
questions for you, buddy. Someone on Reddit was saying you don't have a wife or a job, instead I connected them with a screenshot of you and your lady. Oh, is this for me? Uh, DG. Oh, DG. That's my DG. You got anything you want to ask my boy Jeff here? I mean Kelly, but still, no, I think we're good here, buddy. I don't. They're really just they were interested in hearing your story. Jeff, no questions. Well, everybody, this is Mr. Jeff Nicholes, and I'm been very lucky to meet him and know a little bit about him. And like I said, he's a true gentleman. He knows about respect. He's lived a life that most people can't even imagine. Um, I'm grateful that he came on our show tonight and spent 47 minutes with us. I just want to say thank you. It's been an honor, and I hope you can, catch our show every Saturday, because I think next week I got a gentleman that did 33 years. He just got home about a month ago. He did
Wow.
second degree murder. 30. I just met him. I don't know him at all. I just met him a couple days ago. But
Long
I'm gonna have
time.
a lot of my homeboys on that I've known all my life and that done a lot of prison time. I wish I can get an in to where to let me go inside and talk with some people, or set up as a media.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, I would like to do a podcast from inside there. I'm working on a lot of things. I'm going to have a judge. I'm trying to get my judge that convicted me and my wife, because one thing I heard, how the feds are. They really do want you to do better. It ain't like the state. They just want to keep a revolving door on you. They want you to put you in the system and just keep arresting you. The feds, at least, they want you to. They give you programs. They teach you how to a skill. They try to keep you out and go forward in life. So I had respect for the system on that part. But anything else with the government, I tell you, Jeff, I just, I'm an American
Yeah.
born. I love my country, but I just can't respect none of these politicians and none of these prison
Yeah.
people. They just terrible how they treat people. And the food, it was like eating garbage in the county jail, brother. I was in Marion,
Man,
and oh my God, man, it was like eating
food
dog
is
food every day.
horrible.
It is horrible.
Yes.
Jeff, thank you for taking the time.
No problem, man.
Everybody,
Thank you.
we thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. And I know we'll get in touch in a couple of days. And like I said, the four of us will go out and have some dinner.
All right, man.
Thanks, Jeff, for taking the time out, buddy.
No problem.
Bye. Bye. Thank you, sir. Bye. Well, that was Jeff Nicholes. You guys heard his story. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I was try to keep each show an hour. I got 19 more episodes. I was very, very nice of him to come and tell us a story. I've got a good guest next week. I'm going to just a little bit about the show. This is going to be the more serious side of me. I'm going to try to do my best to put out a good show. I do got something I put together tonight. Um, the song and the intro was done by Mr. Hackwright. I want to thank him. Um, and the intro itself was done by Mr. Dabblestorian. And I know you guys know that me and Dabblestorian haven't talked, but we had a long night talking emails all night long, and he made that intro for me. And I came on last night with an emergency 40-minute episode, and I kind of judged him wrong. I did my normal thing. I jumped the gun before I weighed out the whole picture, and I admitted I was wrong, and I apologized to him on air, and he sent me this nice intro. But Hackwright's the music, he had me in tears. You know, I'm getting sentimental in my old age. So I'm gonna play the song, and I got a little surprise for everybody, just kind of a thank you. So if you guys should just hang on, and I hope you appreciate it. And we'll be back Monday with our regular show with DG, my consigliere in second seat, probably American Cupcake, and the great Spider Elamar. So I'm gonna play this song. This is complimentaries of Mr. Hackwright, and then I'm gonna do this little for you guys. And, enjoy it. Thank you for coming by. And we're playing this here. There we go. We'll start here. Here we go. Good night, everybody.